On today's show, I'm going to share with you some incredible techniques to create your signature message that you can use then from this point on to drive your marketing. So within 10 seconds, people can work out whether they want to work with you and how they can get in touch with you, or you can turn that into a whole keynote speech, turn the same thing into a weekend retreat or a book or even a podcast. What is your signature message and how can it change your life? Find out that and more just by watching this show. Speak on Stage with Dave Crane. Hi, I'm Dave Crane, an ex-BBC journalist who transforms decision makers and business owners who are feeling unknown and scared to speak on stage into highly respected and branded industry experts who are frequently getting offered 5, 6, and even 7-figure contracts to do exactly what they did before. During the pandemic, I lost everything except the belief that, like me, the world is full of frustrated leaders and game changers with untapped potential and brilliant ideas who felt time was always against them because they were worth much, much more and just needed help to learn to jump and grow wings on the way down. And so that's what I do. I help create industry icons. Imagine being in constant demand, headhunted and interviewed because you're the visionary whose life purpose and passion are aligned. So every single day you wake up smiling, truly happy, only doing what you want, when you want, and having plenty of time to spend with those you love. I created the Industry Icon program to give you simple, actionable, step-by-step strategies to help you to fly. If you're an ambitious entrepreneur or one in the making who's looking to create a business that makes an impact and a life worth living, it's an honor to be serving you. And now it's your turn to build a legacy. So let's get started. We need to talk. This is your time to become an industry icon. So there we are, welcome back to the show. It's all about how to produce the best version of you to get you to be more successful on stages and driving your business, have effortless marketing, and also get the life that you truly want. All this in a package, and it's for free. How good is that? You'd have to pay for the podcast, but you have to pay for me. Yes, you do. But not today. So Speak on Stage is all about the ability to get more done and to get more connected to people. And so with that, I want to share with you a couple of things which I think will be really interesting for you. First of all, today's episode, signature messages. This is episode number 4. If you haven't checked it out, subscribe for the podcast. I'll send you the link in the chats of this particular episode. And also you can find us on YouTube and on Facebook and of course on LinkedIn, broadcasting live no less. So if you're watching me live, say hi and I'll say hi back because that's the kind of thing I do. The Industry Icon program is a worldwide phenomena helping people to become the very best that they can be. If you've got your own business and you're wondering how this can apply to me, how can I be more prominent and people recognize me, and suddenly I get called to speak on stages all around the world and travel the world for free, well, you need the Industry Icon program. Talk to me about that. So let's go on with today's agenda. I'm going to share with you what's a signature message. Then I'm going to show you why it matters that you've got one. Then thirdly, how do you make yours? And when you've got yours worked out, how can you use it? Now, this is something you may not know what a signature message is, but most catchphrases that are on TV shows or comedians use them, or even sometimes rappers and singers have the same phrase they come back to, their signature. Like a signature song that gets played when somebody goes on stage, Bryan Adams, The Summer of '69, that kind of thing. But did you know that speakers can have that? You've probably already got your signature phrase, but you've never used it, but it resonates with you. And if you were to ask your friends, what is it I keep saying all the time? It could be that. Or it could be shut up. Or it could be I hate you. Or it could be I want my cash. But even if you say any of those things, they tell a lot about you as a person, which is you're a debt collector. Moving on. So here's the idea and how it all comes together. I've got evidence because if you know me or you've Googled me, then you'll know that I've reinvented myself several different times. So here's an example about exactly how I reinvented myself. You might not know about this. I used to be a stage hypnotist. as a hypnotherapist as well to stop people stop smoking, lose weight, deal with stress. I did the corporate market, traveling around the world, helping people to do all this. I also produced the very first guided meditation CD. There we are. Can you see this? Now that's what I call hypnosis. I produced that maybe about 20 years ago and took it on tour and traveled around the world. I went to South Africa. In fact, I've been to all the countries, America, everywhere, apart from Australia. Not been there yet. Hello, Australia. Get me? And so what I'd do was I'd drop people into what I call the dream experience, and I would take them to see themselves being successful and understand what they could do with their lives. And it fitted in very well with the life coaching stuff I was doing and so on. Now, how did that all fit in together? Well, I'm going to share that with you in this presentation. But meanwhile, if you're thinking, yeah, Dave, hypnosis is rubbish, have a look at this promo, which is a promotional video from before I did my big show at the Madnets. I sold out the Madnet Theatre 3 times, 3 separate sets of entertainment. And I want to share this with you right now. So as you look at it, you'll see the video. If you listen to the podcast, I know you wish you'd had the video, but don't worry, you can find this on my YouTube channel as well.
Do you believe in hypnosis? It's rubbish, isn't it? There's no chance of you doing anything silly. Wonderful, very good indeed. So as I mentioned, discipline is the key. You've got 11 fingers.
Apparently so.
Do you believe in hypnosis? It's rubbish, isn't it? There's no chance of you doing anything silly.
So there we are. I did a tour of many places and did hundreds of hypnosis shows around the world. And it was just fascinating. For me, it's one of the most interesting parts of entertainment you can get, because it is real, but you don't know what you're going to get with any given audience. So when I start talking about this stuff, you may be a little bit scared. You may say, Dave, I don't know if this is going to work for me. Trust me, it will work in a way that it's going to work for you. It's going to be different results for everybody, but you have to do something. Meanwhile, with this show, I give you a free gift just for watching. If you take a screenshot of this or hold your phone up, whichever is good if you got your phone, you can hold it up and take a screenshot of that QR code and then press on your phone. It'll take you to a page where you can register and get a free ebook, which I put together for the 10 killer strategies that you need to know to be able to fast track your career. It's a companion piece to this show, and it helps you to get over fear of public speaking, how to grow your brand, how to get viral videos, how to dominate when you do stuff onto LinkedIn and social media, and how to also grow a brand when your boss and your company turn around and say, no, you're not allowed to do anything unless it's through us. Have you ever wanted to know how to get around that? Well, you can do just by getting this QR code. And I'll share it in the comments, and you'll be able to find it anyway if you check out the podcast or go to our YouTube channel. So with that being said, let's move on now to the next part of today's session, which is to illustrate to you why it's so important that you have your signature message. Well, think about what all this is about. This is ultimately about sales, about getting people to buy into you, whether it's as fans, as followers, or clients, or customers. So what they're thinking is, I've got a headache, who can fix it? Are they the best fit for me? And is my headache fixed? If it is fixed, then I'm sold. I'm going to work with them if they say that they can fix it. But you then have to prove that you can do all this stuff. And that's where it becomes really juicy and interesting, and also quite challenging, because as you look at this, you can also see with a diagram where I'll describe it for the people on the podcast. It's 3 different circles, a green one, a red one, and a blue one. And it's a Venn diagram, which means that they overlock into each other. So one of them is about certainty and social proof. That's a green one, saying that you've got to obviously sell that I will do stuff for you and proof that you will do it. The next one, the blue one, is about clients' objectives. I mentioned that. What do they want? The headache fixed. And the last one, the red one, is return on investment. They need to know they're going to get their money's worth. This is what you've got to create. So your signature message is something that carries this. It's something that when you share it with people, they understand exactly how it all comes together and why you're the person that they want to be connected to do these things. So your message has to be a couple of different things. First of all, it has to be available as a 10 to 30 second elevator pitch. And yes, I did realize for those watching the show that they came up in the wrong order. But number 1, not number 2. 10-second elevator pitch. So it just tells you who I am and what I do. And people should go, I get it, straight away. If you spend 2 minutes explaining who you are and what you do, and it's not your fault, some of my clients are some of the most intelligent people that I've ever worked with who have the same basic challenge, which is nobody understands what it is and what they do and how they can start working with them. So if you have that challenge, well, this is exactly the show for you. The same idea of your signature message can be a 2-minute post or soundbite that you can do. So that means that when you think about your social media posts and what you're going to say, you do a different version of the same message. You can record it at different places. You can find examples in the real world or where your idea would have helped other people and so on. But you stick to your message because it resonates with people. They will get it straight away. You can also take your message and turn it into a 45 minutes keynote course or speech or presentation. So you go out there on stage and you say, this is my message. Then you can also take the whole thing and turn it into an actual training course, 2 to 3 hours. So therefore, people want to know, how do you get that to happen? I've broken it down. We're going to have 2 hours of session and then we've got an hour of practical so you can start working on your own because it's really good. And that works really well in the corporate world. And then the last thing, and this is not the last, there's plenty of things like books and podcasts and TV shows you can create around it. But this one, 2 to 3 days of a weekend retreat. So when you got this message and it resonates with people and they're buying into you and got the certainty and all the things I mentioned earlier, then they may want to come away with you to a hotel or to a beach club or to some residential place. And you work with them over a period of time. Now these can be very profitable with people paying thousands, tens of thousands of dollars to work out exactly how to fix their own challenges and their own headache. Not necessarily a physical problem, because you have given a solution. So it's worth considering how this all comes together for you. Let me show you how it works with the industry icon idea. So the industry icon roadmap has very simple steps. We take somebody and we help them to get awareness about who they are and where they need to be. And then they aspire to something bigger and special. So they're aspiring to it, but they're not sure what that means. They're looking around at other people and say, I want to be like them, I want to be just like them because they're amazing, but I'm not sure how to get there. But once they've got that, we start driving them in a certain direction. This means through their social media, through their events, through their talking, through their sales, through their publications, all the stuff that they do, and I might have none of them initially, just being a guest on other people's podcasts still works for this. But you're driving daily, every single day you're driving a certain direction. And then you're positioning yourself. As you position yourself, it gives you the ability for people to distinguish you between other people. And then once you've started doing that, and as you can see number 5 on this particular roadmap here, refining, getting rid of all the stuff you don't want to spend time on, and really doubling down on the stuff that makes a big difference. And then when you've got this worked out, you can own your industry. And I mean it, own your industry. So people use you as a verb. They say, okay, I'm going to do Steve Jobs on this, or I'm going to do Elon Musk on this particular industry, or I'm going to do Mark Zuckerberg on this new software. People understand that because they've got such a strong personality from those people I've mentioned, therefore, that's kind of what they're going to get. So let's get straight into it, nuts and bolts. So mine is simple. I'm an international keynote speaker who mentors decision makers to speak and grow their brand by learning to jump and grow wings on the way down. Can I do this again, please? Start again. I'm an international keynote speaker who mentors decision makers to speak and grow their brand by learning to jump and grow wings on the way down. That's what I do. I can tell that in 20 seconds as long as I don't stutter and say grump. So what you need to do is work out what yours would be. And there's me, jump and grow wings on the way down. That's the whole point in saying it. All my visuals, all the ideas, all the things I share could be jump and grow wings on the way down. What is jump and grow wings on the way down, you say? Well, it's about taking risks, calculated risks. It's about deciding, you know what, I can probably do this. So if I work out what could go wrong, if I go for it, then there's a very good chance I can do it. And why is it important? Well, if you look at my background, which you might not know, but I used to work in radio, I used to work for the BBC, and one of the biggest problems is, same as not just those companies, if you work for any organization where you're just a number, then people don't need to look after you. The bottom line is, and I've mentioned this many times, and you may have come across this experience before as well, in your case, is this. The formula for being paid is this. Two things: the effect of what you do and how cheaply you can be replaced by somebody else. So that means you could be really good at what you do, but so are lots of people. So why should they bother paying for you? The answer is they won't bother. So that's why being able to distinguish yourself from everybody else puts you using a blue ocean strategy into an area that's not full of red, bloody water with everyone trying to stab each other in the back, but a clear blue ocean where you can be yourself and be the very best of you because nobody else is trying to be your competition and nobody else wants to actually get your space because they can't because you already occupy it. So let's look at some brilliant catchphrases from some companies that have done it better than anybody else. The big red sign with the huge gold M, I'm loving it. Why are you loving it? Well, first of all, it says loving it, not loving it. So they've got this kind of way of making it sound a little bit more slang. But loving it is quite clear. It's the burgers, it's experiences, the relationship. Next up, Burger King, have it your way. Slightly different, same kind of brand. They're still doing fast food, still doing burgers, but have it your way is more about saying to you, whatever it is that you're after, we're here to serve. We've got a range of different stuff that other people don't provide, so we're going to do it the way that you truly want it to be effective. Lay's, who do all the crisps. Yum. I've had quite a lot, as you probably guessed. Bet you can't eat just one. Well, that's a phrase that works really well because obviously if you're eating crisps, that challenge makes you go, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to try and eat one. They don't care. What they do know is that challenge is enough to get people intrigued about it because it's quite clearly about the delicious taste of their crisps. So let's look at Tesco. Tesco is a brand you may or may not know. Certainly in the UK, it's very well known. It's a supermarket that prides itself on giving value for money. So you go in, you can get everything that you need for your house, or virtually everything that you need for your house, and they say every little helps because they're constantly doing sales, bringing the price down, and giving you opportunities to buy. Knowing your brand is really important because if you don't know what it is you're talking about and you don't know what you're offering, then nobody else is going to understand why it's so important that they do business with you. So let's go and have a look at some more. So MasterCard, there are things that money can't buy, but for everything else, there's MasterCard. So it says it's not going to get you love, it's not going to get you happiness, but what it will do is cover all your financial deals. Very effective. Nike, just do it. That whole idea is not too dissimilar to mine, jump and grow wings on the way down. The just do it is all about get out there. And because it's related to sports, every sports person that they brand who scores a goal or wins a tournament or jumps off a cliff or whatever it is that they do as part of their sport, wins a race, just do it is a philosophy that makes people want to buy their stuff because they see the big stars doing it and they say, you know what, that's what I want to do as well. Think different. Steve Jobs and Apple drove this home. Think different. It was all about the fact that if you're a bit of an oddball or a weirdo or you've got something where you don't fit in with everybody else, doesn't matter. There's plenty of good people like you who feel the same way. And thinking different is why you're going to change the world. That's why this is such a great particular idea, because the more oddball you are, the more you feel that you're at home with Apple products. And strangely enough, yes, I'm an oddball, and yes, I do love Apple products. So impossible is nothing. Here we go, Adidas. The idea of in sport, the challenge is there to be broken, whether it's records or titles. And so I think that's David Beckham, but I'm not sure for definite. It might just be some David Beckham lookalike, which would work as well. The idea impossible is nothing becomes a very strong catchphrase because everybody knows that impossible is something. But if you say it's nothing, then I want to wear your brand because clearly you have a way forward. And it's all about the mindset. So when you wear those clothes, that's what you think. I can take on the impossible. I can change things. And when you go to the gym and you're pushing bigger weights or you're getting better scores or even timings for doing the stuff that you do in exercise, impossible is nothing is a great way to wear the thoughts that go through your mind. Carlsberg, probably the best beer in the world. Now, if you've seen the Carlsberg ads, they are so inventive. I may share them with you in the future. But probably the best beer in the world. The reason that's so powerful is it doesn't say we are the best beer in the world because that's down to people's choice and judgment. Some people will prefer different beer, some people prefer their beer, there's so many beers out there. But by saying probably, it gives them some kind of ownership of the unknown to the point where you're kind of challenged, where you want to find out what all the fuss is about. Why do you think you're so good? Let's find out. great bit of marketing. And having the green everywhere, you may have noticed from all the different colors. If you didn't see it, then the podcast won't have that. But the Carlsberg signs are green, and everyone has significant colors they use all the time. Even when it comes to my own personal branding, I tend to use deep red and black and sometimes blue. My favorite Superman, Spider-Man superhero colors, just to let you know. L'Oreal, Paris. Now L'Oreal makeup, perfume, and things that really are expensive, not essential, but a reward to you. Because you're worth it is a wonderful catchphrase to have. Because anybody who wears L'Oreal knows they're paying a lot more than we could do for other brands that seem similar, but they do feel they're worth it, so they do want to spend that bit of extra money. So what's yours? What's your own particular signature phrase? What do you fall back on? And what would it be that you say that people go, I get it, I want to work with you? Now this is easier said than done, and when I work with my industry icon clients, sometimes it can take 3 or 4 sessions to double down, because it's like peeling an orange or peeling an onion. An onion is more like it. Think about if you've got an onion and you've got to take off the layers. So you're taking off a layer and there's more underneath. You take off a layer, there's more underneath. There's more. So what you're doing is you're going, I've got it now. Oh no, there's another layer. Take it up, there's another layer, there's another layer. So the way I want to share this for you is, imagine that you were going to, in fact, when I went to Ireland and I went to Dublin, I went to the Guinness factory. And the Guinness factory is an amazing place. If you drink Guinness, then you'll say it's amazing anyway. But it's amazing even from a scientific point of view, because they've got 3 different floors that you go to. You walk in through the main door, and you're greeted by these big machines that they put inside the factory in the middle of the street. So there's lots of different things churning around, spitting stuff out, and blah, blah, blah. Not people. And so you got the barley and the sugar and the water and all the other stuff, the hops, the yeast, all being mixed in together. Then it goes on to the next thing, then the next thing. Then you got some stairs, and it takes you another thing. And you go all the way through this whole process until at the very end of it, you've got a really small mini bar. I say mini bar, not like you get in a hotel, but like a bar you'd get in a restaurant or a pub. And there is one person with one tap, and it's a Guinness tap. And they take out a half glass, and they pour half of it for you. And then you wait. And as you wait, there's a saliva coming down. You're thinking, I've been looking at how you make this stuff, and it's incredible. But now I want to taste the Guinness. And then we'll top it up a little bit more, a little bit more. So it takes a little bit of time for you to get your drink. But when you do drink it, it's delicious. Why is it so good? Because they know exactly how to pour it. They know exactly how to make it. When you look at the whole diagram that you've got here of the brewery and all the different things, at any point they could stop and say, right, we've got a beer. Yeah, you've got a beer, but you haven't got Guinness. In order to do that, you've got to go through the whole process. If you stop short of that, you haven't got your signature drink. And you haven't got your signature person. You haven't got your signature message. You haven't got your signature theme. And you haven't got your signature idea or presentation to share with your customers and clients until you do know what that is. Now, as you've got this concept, you've got to reverse engineer that whole process. Starting in Guinness with the drink, what would you have to do to go back to make sure that you end up with what you truly want to get, which is all the stuff. You've got to add all the ingredients, and you've got to get the temperature right, and you've got to take certain things out. With you, it's the same thing. But also, as you do this, reverse engineer what your message is. And if you're not sure about your message, contact me and let's have a chat about it. So you've got to ask these questions. Now, NLP covers this, neuro-linguistic programming. If you're an NLP practitioner or a master prac, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But they have a thing called the 6 logical levels. And the 6 logical levels is really about all the things that you need to do to find your place with the universe. Now that sounds a little bit, what do you mean? But it's actually really profound. So first of all, let's take it. So you've got your vision, your idea. What am I part of? And then you dig down a little bit further. Who am I? And then you go down again to work out your values and your beliefs. What's important to me? What's not important to me? And this is a pyramid, by the way. So you go further down again. So you start at the top, vision, identity, values and belief. Then you go down once you've got your values and belief and decide what's important. Your capabilities. How do I learn more? What will I learn? How do I get access to that? Then you work out your behavior. What will I do differently to get more of what I truly want with all these different skills? And then you work out the last part, the environment. When and where am I? To connect to the outside world, you need to know that. So consider all these different questions. Ask yourself those questions in that order and look at your history and the things you've done in your life to work out how you fit into the bigger picture. And it is complex. And like I say, the process has taken, for me, a long, long time. It can take 3 sessions of maybe an hour and a half to go through and ask lots of questions. But when you've got it, it's unmistakable. Once you've got exactly who you are and what it is you do, then you'll know that for me, it's jump and grow wings on the way down. That's my signature idea. That's my signature theme. That I can put into anything, because all through my life, whether it's starting a podcast or moving home, going to a different country and starting a new way of doing stuff, my philosophy is calculated risk. Jump and grow wings on the way down. But what's yours? I'd love to know. If you have it, leave it in the comments. If you haven't got it, then put what you think it could be. And I'd love to share the ideas of what went into mine and how you can find yours as well. So if you aren't using this, then I can understand, because you haven't got your reason to talk to people. We will be tackling content and how you come up with great content in a future episode, but you're probably not talking to people yet. You're probably not on stage, or if you do go on stage, you just talk about your job and your work. But it doesn't feel synonymous with you. You can still talk about your job and your work, but in a style that tells everybody, oh, jump and grow wings on the way down. So if I'm talking about the metaverse, and I talk about the fact that new things are coming all the time, I can say I approached it with the way that I approach everything, which is to jump and grow wings on the way down. I throw myself into the deep end, start talking about metaverse, learning all the stuff I need to do, and now I travel around the world as an expert on metaverse and digitization, and also how to grow tribes and grow your brand in a digital space. I didn't start like that. I started off saying I'm going to be the one who travels around the world doing that, and that's how I created it. Now you're probably saying, Dave, well, that's easy for you. You've been speaking forever. Yeah, I know I have, but this is probably the reason why you find it so difficult. Imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is kind of scary. It's the idea that whoever you are, whatever you do, there's a voice inside your head that says you're not good enough. And it can often prevent you from being the person that you want to be. And it's not even age related. It's not like you grow out of it. You can have it for your entire life. Something like 80%, I think it was 82% of people in a survey said that they have imposter syndrome. So they've never got what they truly want out of life. And if you're in an entertainment industry, or an industry where you put yourself front and forward based on your personality and your skills, like sporting people as well, or an actor, or any kind of entertainment, it can be really challenging to put yourself out there, because if it doesn't work out the way that you want it to, then you're always going to feel inadequate. Remember my catchphrase, jump and grow wings on the way down, kind of goes against this until you find a way of making it all come together. So I'm going to share that with you. So here's the thing. Have you ever listened to others who didn't value you, and they think you're not good enough, and you think, maybe I am a fake? Have you ever been in that situation? I'll say this again. Have you ever listened to others who didn't value you, and you think to yourself, maybe I am a fake after all? Well, I've had that many, many times. I want to share with you exactly how this comes together. Just doing an example from my life, which I think will be very useful for you to understand how you can be more effective with this. So let's go to this. Typical excuses you have. When people kind of disown you and don't let you turn up and do stuff, it could be because you feel that you're uninvited or insignificant, or it could be that you feel you're unrealistic, untalented, unremarkable, unfocused, unwanted, unattractive, awkward, and uncool. Have you ever heard that from people, or felt it going through your own mind? Well, I'm going to share with you an example of myself, just to prove that it can be done. And it's not because I'm special. You can do the same thing. You just have to work out exactly how to do it. So remember, my own particular catchphrase is jump and grow wings on the way down. Now, I remember being called untalented. I don't care whether people think I'm talented or not talented anymore. But in those days, let me share with you exactly where I was. So in the days of being called untalented, in one particular situation, I was working at a radio station in Dubai. I just joined them. And there's a guy who wasn't on this picture who turned around and said, I don't think you're very good at what you do. None of us were very good. We're all young and starting at what we do. And I've been an entertainer for many years. And so he just didn't like me, didn't gel with me. And so made a point of saying, right, I don't think you've got a career in entertainment or broadcasting. How do you get over when somebody thinks that you're untalented or not good enough? Well, simple. You just do what you need to do and ignore them. That's their opinion. In their opinion, they couldn't do what I do, knowing what I know, but they're not me and I'm not them. So instead, I threw myself into my career and I've traveled around the world and done amazing things. But here's, for example, a shot of me on stage at the World T20 cricket tournament. This is in Abu Dhabi. Now, here's the thing. I don't know anything about cricket, or I didn't do before I did this tournament. It was straight after the pandemic. It was very, very scary indeed because the pandemic was over, but nobody had been an entertainer on stage in front of people for like 18 months or beyond. So then it fell into my lap. Do you want to do this sporting event? Because you've done sporting events before, so we know you could probably do it. And I'm thinking, well, I've never done cricket and I don't know cricket. What if I get it wrong? But then I thought, well, what if you get it right? You need to tell the world that you're up and open for business and you go out there. So I said yes. I thought these guys are not going to just throw me out there. They're going to coach me about all the things, what a 6 and a 4 and a boundary, all the different things they're going to tell me, how to say it, how to get the audience wound up, how to get them excited, how to bring on the players, how to describe. They're going to tell me all that stuff because if I don't get it right, then they'll let me know. So I decided to jump and grow wings on the way down. And you're thinking, well, how did it work out, Dave? Well, it worked out really well. I did about 8 or 9 matches in the World Cup. So I took it right through, I think, to the semis. I didn't do the final. I took it right through to the semis. And also, during this period of time, after the first day, before this picture you see here, the first day, on the evening of that, I got a phone call. Now, this phone call was very scary. It's 4:30 in the morning. And it was a hospital in Leeds, England, who called me up and said, is that Dave? I said, yes. Said, your dad's got COVID, he's not going to make it. I went, what? Your dad's got COVID, he's going to pass. You have to phone your family and come down. I said, I'm in Dubai, what can I do? So I rang my family and they went down there and somebody suddenly got us on Zoom and I got a chance to say goodbye to my father. Now, why am I sharing this with you? I'm not saying it to be a sob story. I'm sharing it with you because sometimes things go against you. So could I have abandoned doing the entire event? Yeah, I could have abandoned it and walked away and said, I'm not going to do any more. But I didn't. My wife said wisely, take 2 or 3 days off, get your head in that space, which I did. Then I went back and did another 8 events, 8 or 9 matches. So whatever challenges you're going through, it can be done. If you want to see what it looks like doing an event like that, take a look at this.